Our countdown to kickoff coverage is continuing, and we are heading out to Giants camp with Jorge Castillo of the Star-Ledger. The New York Giants, Super Bowl champs last season, albeit at one point in the season they were 7-7. Now they were last in the ranking team in rushing. How exactly have they improved their running game at all from last season?
Well, it's one of the things they immediately one of the things they did was obviously letting Brandon Jacobs go, even though at one point they might have wanted him to come back. He decided to take the offer out there in San Francisco. So what they did with the first-round pick is they brought in David Wilson, a very, very quick, elusive, fast running back out of Virginia Tech. He brings something to the table that they haven't had the last few years here. Someone who can, have some afterburners, has some speed. He can get out of the backfield quickly. The screen game, not just, in the running game. So they brought him in, and he's someone that they're really excited about. He's actually already gotten a lot of first-team carries with Ahmad Bradshaw out these last few days with a hand contusion at practice. But he's someone that they expect to have, be with the first team tonight, getting a lot of first-team reps because he has surpassed DJ Ware in the running game. Something else about that running game is last year they had a lot of injuries up front on the offensive line. They're hoping some more stability up there on the offensive line can, create more of a cohesiveness from week to week and a better run game as a result of a little more stability. So those two things, Ahmad Bradshaw has a little hand contusion, but it's nothing major. They expect him to be ready to go opening night. So just Wilson, Bradshaw, and a better offensive line.
The list of quarterbacks that the Giants will face this season is tremendous in many eyes, including mine. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Cam Newton, Michael Vick, Ben Roethlisberger, Tony Romo, Andy Dalton, Matt Ryan, and Joe Flacco. Is this the hardest schedule that their defense will have to face?
Well, one of the things about, a lot of people point to schedules from the year before. One thing I always say and think when people say that is the NFL changes from year to year, right? Unlike any other league. I mean, one year you'll think, last year, just year to year, teams kind of like get better all of a sudden without, people predicting it, and other teams don't. Like, I believe there's a stat, each of the last 5 years, the last place team has, gone up to first place, year to year. So, I mean, obviously guys like Rodgers and Roethlisberger and Flacco and all those guys are great quarterbacks. But one thing the Giants do well, and this is like the hallmark of their team, besides, Eli's comebacks and all that, is that pass rush. And you can neutralize the passing game with that pass rush. Guys with JPP, OC, and Tuck, they don't need to blitz anymore with those guys on the outside. Just ask Tom Brady each of the last two Super Bowls, how he was doing. They did well against Rodgers in the playoff run, against Ryan in the playoff run, against Brady. And I think that's the perfect antidote to a great passing game is that pass rush up front, which I think, when you think about it, has there been a stable of defensive ends, better than the stable that they have right now? Those three guys that they have, I can't think of one in the last decade. These guys, I think, up front are going to cause a lot of havoc, and they're going to be able to neutralize some of that. And we'll have to see, but I think it will be something that, if any team is equipped to stop it, I think it's a team like the Giants with that pass rush.
A few more questions for you, Jorge. The wide receivers also intrigue, at least me, among many others. Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks are clearly the 1-2. Who will come out and be that solidified number 3 receiver?
Right now, that's one of the three major questions for me going into tonight. No one really knows. No one's really stepped up, and kind of taking that role. Ruben Randall, second-year player, Jarrell Jernigan, Dominic Hickson, who's coming off his second torn ACL in as many years, and then Ramsey Barden, who I think is he's running out of chances to even make the team at this point, a fourth-year wide receiver. I expect it to be. It's tough to say. It's Jernigan, Randall, or Hickson. I think by the end of the season, by mid-season, it'll be Ruben Randall, who will be the number 3 guy. I think he's made strides. Hakeem Nicks told us yesterday that he's one of the guys, the day before yesterday, he's one of the guys he just gets it. He came out of a pro-style offense at LSU where the quarterbacks there were not any good to begin with. Something that Randall himself said. He has a guy like Eli throwing at him. He's the big physical guy and someone that, will allow Victor Cruz to stay in the slot because Ruben Randall is the guy who will be on the outside opposite Nicks. You keep Cruz in the slot where he's very good. And I think that's the guy at the end that will make his mark by mid-season, if not the beginning of the season. He will be the number 3 guy.
Martellus Bennett has obviously made some headlines when he pretty much said that he despises his former team, the Dallas Cowboys. When he came into training camp, what I was reading is that he was very out of shape and that he was still trying to get in football shape. Has he gotten in better shape at all, and can you see him being lined up as possibly a mismatch, possibly a slot receiver during the season?
It's funny you asked me this because actually it was Wednesday, last practice. Martellus Bennett makes a catch, runs by me and another reporter, and he's like, right about that. He's like, I'm down at 269. He's like, put my 8-pack on GQ, was what he told us. So this guy, he's lost 22 pounds, he says, since he reported to camp at 291. He's down to 269. His goal is to get to 265 by opening night. So if anything, he looks like he says he's in the best shape of his life. I've seen him work out here in Jersey. I went to a reporter story on Victor Cruz, and he was there working out with Cruz and a couple other Giants players. So he does the work. He did do the work during the off season, behind the scenes. He's a guy who seems like he's taking it very seriously. A lot of people down there in Dallas say he's a knucklehead who'll make one great play and then take 4 off or just do something stupid on the other 3 plays, stuff like that. But he's a guy who, he signs a 1-year contract. The Giants don't have much to lose. They lose Jake Ballard. They didn't expect to lose him. But he was going to be out for the season anyways. They bring him in. It's him or Bear Pasco at this point. And Martellus Bennett, since the first preseason game, has looked very, very good. He's taken a lot of the first-team reps. Whether they split him out wide, that's something we'll have to see. I haven't seen too much of him split out wide. He's a great blocking tight end for someone with the athleticism that he does have. He is a former basketball player at Texas A&M. He's an athlete, 6'5", 265, 269 at this point. So I do expect the Giants to use him. I think he's for fantasy players out there, I think he's got the sleeper at the tight end position because Jake Ballard looked really good last year, and Martellus Bennett is a far superior athlete than a Jake Ballard was. So I think Martellus Bennett I think he'd be very productive with the Giants this season.
Very interesting. My last question for you, Jorge. The over-under, according to Sportsbook in Vegas, is 9 wins. What do you say about that?
I say you only need 9 wins to win a Super Bowl, I guess, right? Is that how it is nowadays? If we go by last year, I mean the schedule is very tough, like what you said earlier. But the NFL, the turnover is so great. I do expect the Eagles to be a lot better. Not even a lot better, but just start off better. They finished the season very very well last year. Winning the last 4. I expect them to be up there. I do expect the Giants to sneak in the playoffs, whether it's winning the division or the wild card. It's so hard to predict. I'm not really into I go game by game by game, and I have the Giants at 10 wins, 10 or 11 wins. I just think this team is. If you go back to the last time they won the Super Bowl, they started off the season 11-1. Pascal shoots himself, and the team goes 12 and finishes 1-3, losing the first round of playoffs. This team has a lot of players from that team. I don't think there'll be a Super Bowl hangover to any effect. I expect this team to build the bridge. I mean, Tom Coughlin made its new slogan: "Build the bridge from last year, start strong just as well as they finished last year." So I expect this team to 10, 11 wins, get in the playoffs. So I'll go with the over. That's basically what you were asking me.